Feeling empty is not a personal failure. It's a message from deep within. Society has conditioned us to believe that if we feel lost, hollow, or emotionally numb, something must be wrong with us. But in reality, that emptiness is not a sign of weakness. It's a signal. It's your inner voice trying to break through the noise and distractions of the world around you. It's your soul's way of waking you up to a truth you've been ignoring for far too long. Many people misinterpret this emptiness and try to fix it with surface-level solutions, chasing attention, numbing the pain with entertainment, overworking to prove worth, or jumping from one relationship to another. But none of these bring lasting peace, because they're not addressing the root of the problem. The root cause of this emptiness is often a disconnect between who you truly are and the life you're currently living. You were born with a voice inside, a compass that points toward your most authentic self. But over time, expectations, trauma, and the need to please others drown that voice out. You learn to act, pretend, perform. And in doing so, you trade your truth for approval. That's when the emptiness begins to grow. It doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, quietly, until one day you wake up and wonder why everything feels hollow, even when it looks full from the outside. Emptiness is not the absence of things. It's the absence of connection. Connection to your passion. Connection to your purpose. Connection to your soul. It's what happens when you ignore your own needs, suppress your real emotions, and silence your inner truth just to survive or fit in. That's why so many people can be surrounded by others and still feel completely alone. That's why you can achieve what you thought you always wanted. The job, the house, the status, and still feel like something vital is missing. Because it's not about what you've gained. It's about what you've lost in the process yourself. The emptiness you feel is not meant to break you. It's meant to wake you up, to remind you that something essential has been buried, forgotten, or sacrificed. It's your soul reaching out. One of the most common misconceptions in today's world is that happiness and fulfillment can be found in things outside of ourselves. From a young age, we're taught, either directly or indirectly, that success equals contentment, that popularity equals worth, and that achievement equals peace. But the truth is, no matter how much you acquire, achieve, or impress, it will never be enough if the foundation within you is empty. You may land your dream job, earn the recognition you've always craved, drive the car you thought would change your life, or even receive the love and admiration of others, and still lie awake at night feeling a strange and unshakable sense of dissatisfaction. Why? Because fulfillment that comes solely from the outside is always temporary. It fades as quickly as it arrives. Like drinking salt water to quench your thirst, external validation may provide a momentary high, but it leaves your soul even more parched. The reason it doesn't work is simple. The void inside of you is not physical. It's emotional, spiritual, and deeply personal. It's the ache of not living in alignment with your truth. It's the pain of ignoring your inner world while constantly performing for the outer one. You may smile in public, show strength to others, and celebrate victories that look good on paper. But none of that touches the part of you that longs to be seen, heard, and known for who you really are. People often become addicted to chasing external accomplishments, not because they're greedy or superficial, but because they are unknowingly trying to fill a hole that those things can never reach. They think if they just earn more, become more, do more, then they'll feel complete. But it's a never-ending cycle. Once they reach one milestone, it quickly loses its magic, and they're off chasing the next. The truth is, the internal void demands something deeper: authenticity, self-acceptance, purpose, and inner peace. And none of these can be found in money, titles, or social media likes. External things can support your well-being, but they can't define it. They can amplify what's already whole inside you, but they can't create wholeness where it doesn't exist. When your self-worth is dependent on external circumstances, you'll constantly live in fear. Fear of losing what you've gained, fear of not measuring up, fear of being exposed. There's a difference between looking successful and feeling fulfilled. One feeds the ego, the other feeds the soul. The most overlooked solution to emptiness is not found in doing more, achieving more, or becoming someone else. It's found in returning to yourself. True healing doesn't begin when your life looks perfect from the outside. It begins the moment you choose to turn inward, to reconnect with the version of yourself that you may have silenced, forgotten, or buried beneath years of expectations, disappointments, and distractions. Self-connection means being honest with who you are at your core. Not who the world told you to be, not the role you play to keep others comfortable, but the real, unfiltered you. It's about becoming aware of your own needs, values, desires, and pain, and then allowing yourself to honor those without guilt or shame. When you begin to connect deeply with yourself, the need for external approval starts to fade, because you no longer look outward to find what you already possess within. The disconnection that leads to emotional emptiness is often the result of living in a world that constantly pulls your attention away from yourself. You're told to keep busy, stay productive, keep scrolling, and avoid silence. But that silence, the space where you can finally hear your own thoughts and emotions, is exactly where the healing begins. In that silence, your soul speaks. And for most people, it's been waiting a long time to be heard. Reconnecting with yourself isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to ask the right questions. Who am I when no one is watching? What do I value deep down, beyond what I've been told to value? What kind of life feels aligned with my truth, not just my obligations? The journey of self-connection requires patience. It asks you to slow down and listen to the parts of you that have been neglected or dismissed. It means sitting with discomfort, confronting emotions you may have avoided, and showing up for yourself with compassion, even when it's hard. It also means recognizing that your worth isn't something you have to earn. You were worthy long before anyone had the chance to label you. Self-connection is not selfish, it's foundational. You cannot pour into others, chase your dreams, or find lasting joy if you're constantly at war with yourself. When you reconnect with your truth, you create a powerful inner stability that cannot be shaken by circumstances, judgment, or failure. You stop measuring your life by other people's standards and begin living according to your own inner compass. And when that happens, the emptiness you once feared becomes a doorway to something deeper, more meaningful, more real,